From TMP to TTNG, for sure the cure and those tired meme jeans. Hella Kinsella and the promise ring. Sunny day, real estate and rights this spring. Prince Twinkle Daddies help keep the dream alive. I constantly thank God for Algernon and Remo Christie Front Drive. Mineral, snowing, high tide hotelier and more. Rio Limo only consists of the DC emotive hardcore. But you gotta admit, Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. You gotta admit that Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. Have you heard the tired and disavowed lonely word? Have you heard the disavowed and lonely word? Have you heard the lonely disavowed word? Have you heard the tired and lonely disavowed word?
Yeah, he met Rick to life at I think Damage City Fest last year.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's so sick.
He said he was cool, but he's just kind of dumb. Like, he's dumb
Yeah.
from the brain damage that he got from getting his shit kicked in so many times.
Nando literally called me to tell me about that. It was dope. Like right after it happened. He was just like, I know if anyone wanted to know about this, it would be you, Ellie. So I appreciated that.
Hell yeah. Okay, do we want to start this episode?
Honestly, I think we fade in after we say Nando met Rick to life, but
Yes.
episode 43 of the E-Word, the first episode of this year, of this decade, and it's not in a decade under the influence episode. It is a loose catch-up episode. This is Kyle in Madison. I'm recording with Ellie, my friend in Austin. Ellie, what's up?
Not much. I'm doing good. My hair's blue now. I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but I'm stoked on my hair being blue. I've wanted to dye my hair blue since I was like 13, so I'm stoked.
And we are recording with like 10 minutes notice, really, with Claudio from Commander Salamander, who's in a Target parking lot in DC somewhere.
Hell yeah, round 3, motherfuckers, let's go. First round 3 of the fucking E-Word.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I don't care, I'm making it true.
You just put yourself in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
In the Hall of Fame, there's only one. It's me, baby. Wait, who did the 3 times?
Tyler.
Fuck.
And I think somebody else.
Ben has been on twice. Ryland's been on twice.
Yeah, I had to come on and protect the fucking title for being on here.
Although, to be fair, one of the times that Tyler was on, they were sharing with other people, and I think generally you always have. No, that's not true. You shared with Liam once.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I shared with Liam.
All right.
Yeah,
well, fuck it. Tyler doesn't actually exist. They're a figment of our imagination. It's all Claudio.
They live in Iowa. What the fuck is that? That doesn't even exist.
I genuinely think we should like melt several states into like one state. Like the Dakotas need to be one state. Like Iowa, Indiana, Illinois should all be one state.
They basically are. I drove through them this summer. They're all the fucking same.
All right, but this is strange that you are trying to melt all the big ass states into one, and not like the East Coast, which could easily just benefit from being one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Delaware, New Jersey, and Connecticut can all be one state. I don't give a fuck. We could divide California into like 5 states, so we can keep that nice round 50 number.
Well, welcome to the G Word. This is a geography podcast.
I feel like I might be subconsciously like stealing a bit from Chapo Trap House right now, but
I think I failed geography in high school. I don't even remember.
That's the subject with the rocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like sedimentary, igneous, and then what's the other one?
Phosphorescent.
Phosphorescent. All right. Igneous is the one that comes from volcanoes, right?
Ain't that shit a Pokemon?
All right.
Okay, so as you can tell, this is a loose catch-up episode. You're probably wondering, where is that 2017 episode that you recorded out of order and didn't even come up with one? I would like to know the same answer. We have been ghosted and then ghosted and ghosted and ghosted, and then, hey, can you do tomorrow? And then ghosted again. So, maybe we fly with just doing that one with someone else. Maybe we do it just ourselves. Maybe we don't do it at all. I don't know. I'm about to send the email for the 2018 one. So it sucks. It sucks because we literally had it scheduled and then it was like, yoink.
Yeah, it got stolen from us. It's probably just like a busy time for that crew. But as for the 2018 episode, there's I might not even be on it. I might like dip. And just like let you have our esteemed collaborator Ian Cohen on to co-host for that one.
You could probably tell what it is just by knowing how you're disgusted by it. But my thing is like, there's already a 5-episode series of podcasts about it. Why did people want that one from us?
I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. And like, well, I'm just saying, Kyle, there's not much to be gained from like me sitting in a room with an artist, or like sitting on a podcast with an artist and just being like, so I didn't really like this song. Can you tell me why I should like it?
Wait, I'm so confused. Who the fuck are we talking about? Spill some names. Oh.
Yeah.
The one that won, huh? Gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't like that shit either.
It's insane. I was really expecting to win, but I guess I like vastly underestimated like how many incels are in our audience.
I'm not surprised, but most of the albums that we wanted to talk about, we got to talk about just by them getting voted in. Like I am so shocked that we didn't have to do like a Modern Baseball episode.
Yeah, what? That's kind of crazy.
But we did.
They just got outvoted every time.
Yeah.
So when is Mom Jeans coming on?
I guess we successfully avoided them.
Damn.
They would never have come on. Although I do think it would have been funny to do like a live reading of their like rejection email on the podcast.
Really? Wow. I didn't even know it went that way. You tried to get them on and they said no?
No. This is all hypothetical.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn.
Don't know what we're going to do about 2017 or 2018, really. But, so, first episode of 2020, we just had holiday break. We just had an episode come out a couple weeks ago. What the fuck's up, y'all? Ellie, what have you been up to?
Just living life. I don't like going on vacation. Like, I had to request, like, 9 days off from work to go to Palm Springs and then Las Vegas. And that's cool. I wanted to meet Dina's family and like see my family, but my paycheck took a hit and that sucked.
Wait, where is Palm Springs?
It's in California.
Oh,
they live in like an old people retirement home. It's weird because Dina's not actually very much older than me. She's only like 5 years older than me, but her parents are like my grandparents' age. It was a neat experience. They keep it very, very warm inside there, so I kind of just napped for like 4.5 days.
That's savage.
We got our cat registered as an emotional support animal so we could take her. And so we flew into Vegas and then drove to Palm Springs and then drove from Palm Springs to Vegas to fly back out of Vegas. And so we kind of let Juno like hang out in the car with us, and the first time she was like high off her ass on like Kitty Xanax, so she was cool. She was just like jumping all over our bodies while we were driving, and then on the way to Vegas she got like really fucking terrified and hid under the car seat, and we had to like stop at a gas station and spend like 30 minutes like dragging her out and making her take more Kitty Xanax. So that was extremely traumatic. I guess that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to, Kyle?
I had like 10 days off of work and kind of lost my mind not having work to do and just eating way too fucking much. I had so much food. And then in the middle of that, I went back to the gym. And not in one of those like corny like New Year's resolutions ways, but I'm like feeling good about going to the gym. So I ran 13 miles in a week, and that was
sick.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna keep doing that. What else?
How long does it take you to run a mile?
Since we're an emo podcast, 4-minute mile.
Yeah. I'm upset that you took that from me. It was like in my hand. Then you your hand ghostly went through the screen and grabbed it from mine, and I'm very upset.
I tend to do that sometimes on this podcast. It feels good that I can predict where you're going with things. I listened to a shit ton of Blink-155 over break, and it got to the point where I was like, "Oh, this sucks." Like I'm just like sitting here laughing by myself. What else did I do? I saw 3 movies in a week. Uncut Gems is totally like, I like love the internet's response to it because it's like actually as good as people say that it is, but it's also like memeable as.
Yo, I saw that movie. I saw that shit. It was weird. It was stressful.
It is a very stressful movie.
Really stressful.
I had this tweet lined up. I might as well just say it because I didn't know if it was going to do numbers on the band account. But watching that movie was like watching my own band try to become self-sustainable on fucking selling merch and shit.
Holy shit. I did not see that. I saw right before I went out for break, I watched the new Star Wars movie, which was like a load of shit. And this, like, I genuinely like really loved The Last Jedi. And this movie was kind of just like J.J. Abrams like saying "fuck you" to Rian Johnson like the entire runtime. And then on Christmas, I saw Little Women, which was dope.
I saw Little Women on New Year's Eve, and it was way better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like something like Pride and Prejudice, but it was like Pride and Prejudice, but like didn't feel bored or lost the entire time.
Well, yeah, because it's really like fun and relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Greta Gerwig, so, you know, like the way that she directs her actors and constructs her dialogue is always very like real, you know. One thing I think is weird is I've been seeing like a lot of dudes, like just like a lot of like dudes like posting stuff like, hey, I just saw Little Women and I was surprised at how much I liked it. And like it's cool. Like I think it's cool that like this movie that ostensibly is like a women's coming of age story that like men are feeling able to like go see it. But I do think it's a little like fucked up because I feel like women have to know like all of men's like coming age stories.
Right.
And men have just been like excused from like being aware of Little Women and like chick flicks. Like they're allowed to not know about that stuff, whereas you know every woman I know has read Catcher in the Rye once or twice. I don't know, it's just a weird experience, but it is cool. It's cool that we're finally getting to a point where like you know we can have gender neutral coming of age stories, I guess. Like can cross lines like that. I probably sound like a fucking idiot. You should cut all of that out.
No, the only reason why I'd cut it out is because I fucking hate movie podcasts.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cut it out. Movie podcasts are the goddamn worst. Except for how did this get made? I like How Did This Get Made a lot. Like
why the fuck would anyone start a movie podcast after like 2010? Because as soon as podcast was like a thing, there was like 1,400 of them.
Really, I didn't really give a fuck about podcasts until y'all started this one.
Sick. We're entry level. I did watch the Golden Globes. And you know, to kind of tie it back to the podcast thing, it's really weird that without Ricky Gervais, we probably wouldn't like be here, right? I think Blink-155 pointed this out a while back. Ricky Gervais kind of like blazed the trail of the podcast format, and he is like a humongous pile of shit.
I would say that
that monologue was pretty savage, though.
What was savage?
That monologue at the Golden Globes where he was like roasting the shit out of Hollywood.
I mean, I guess, but he's like getting paid to do it. They're like paying him to do it, you know? Like, he's not saying anything particularly dangerous. I guess the edgiest thing he did was like call them out for associating with Epstein.
Yeah, that's right.
But
And he called out Apple for fucking like trying to make a woke progressive show and then owning sweatshops.
it's weird. It's weird because like when you like do something, when you call something like that out, but also like you've been given the platform to do so by the powers that be, it feels a little bit more toothless. I don't know. Like
True.
it just kind of feels like a way for them to be like, oh, it's okay that we're doing this because we're aware of it and we're gonna let you make fun of us for it, but we're not actually gonna change anything.
I feel like that's why it was so fucking shocking when Kanye went on his rant during the hurricane thing when he was like, George Bush doesn't care about
Yes.
black people, when like Mike Myers just like had no idea what the fuck to do and he was standing next to him on
Yes.
live television.
See, that's actually cool. That's how you actually like shake up the system. Like everything Ricky Gervais said was like obviously like workshopped. Like
Did he even write it?
hours. I don't know if he wrote it necessarily. I think like he kind of co-writes it with a group of other writers. Because you know his Golden Globe stuff is like way watered down compared to his stand-up as far as like, oh, I'm gonna be a naughty offensive boy type of shit goes.
Yeah.
We should stop talking about general pop culture.
Yeah, Claudio, what are you up to? What's up with Commander Salamander? No, y'all just did like a little winter run with Morning Dew.
Yeah, that was sick. We've been like best buds with Morning Dew since we like first became a band. Like we played our first show with them in Origami Angel in 2017, and like you know, we've played like their venue, Grateful Acres in Fallston, Maryland, like a bunch of times. Yeah, we it was a cool run. Like we had never really been to the South before like that. There was a lot of good, you know, like crossover action happening there with like, we played Atlanta, and that was like the crossover show with Dogleg. So we got to play with Dogleg, and then we like hung out with them after the show. That was sick. And then we also played with Guitar Fight from Fooly Cooley for a couple days. They're awesome. I love them so much. And we actually also got to like crossover with Cheam and Vermont when we were in Kentucky, which was cool and like very sudden. Yeah, it was a good tour. It was a good little, you know, week to finish off the year. That's probably like the last non-weekender we're going to do until the summer. We got, you know, big plans for this summer. And yeah, we're trying to write this LP and stuff like everybody is doing nowadays, I guess. Liam is actually about to, he's next week, I don't know if this will be out by then, but he's about to leave to go to school in Boston. He got into Berkeley School of Music, and I'm very, very proud of him, very excited for him. Shout out to my boy Liam. Me personally, I've not really been doing too much, just been bowling and listening to music. I just got into Fall Out Boy, I guess. The reason I'm even on this podcast is because I'm driving around in the snow, and I was like, hey, I should probably let Ellie know that I like Fall Out Boy now. And we just started talking, and she was like, hey, we're going to do a podcast. And I was like, cool, let me be on it. And then she was like, okay.
I figured, fuck it. It's been too long. We should open the gates.
Open the gates. Let me talk shit.
All right. First official segment. What have you been listening to?
All right. It's been a long time since we've done this fucking segment. Yeah. Two releases that I forgot to put on my 2019 honorable mentions. No One Knows What the Dead Think, which is John Chang from Discordance Axis and Gridlink. This is his new band, and he consistently creates the only grindcore that actually makes me like feel emotions. So if you want like grindcore that feels emo but not screamo, then listen to No One Knows What the Dead Think. And also L, the screamo band L, put out this album called Ellipsis last year that was very good, like classical screamo. I've also, you know, did you ever listen to Ghostmane's hardcore band Nemesis?
Nope.
No. They're really good. They sample 93 to Infinity by Souls of Mischief, which is dope. Ethan, from the drummer of See You Space Cowboy, has a new band called Staining the Twilight Black that put out an EP at the very end of last year. That's really good. It's like kind of techie metalcore, much more interesting than the last See You Space Cowboy album. I went back and listened to that Glassjaw album from 2017, Material Control, and it's grown on me a lot. I did not like it when I first heard it, but I think it's better than Worship and Tribute. It's not as good as Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Silence, but it's better than Worship and Tribute, which, you know, I love all of Glassjaw's material, so that's saying something. Listen to the new Travis Scott album, Jack Boys, with artwork by Harmony Korine, and it's fucking great. I appreciate that rap albums are short again now. I guess that's like a Kanye influence thing, but I like it. I feel like it's a lot more accessible than like a fucking 3-hour mixtape or whatever. And I've been listening to a lot of Sublime. That band's sick. Claudio, I've actually been meaning to tell you about this. So I think the reason I don't like Red Hot Chili Peppers is because of Anthony Kiedis. I think I just hate his vocals because John Frusciante is like objectively an incredible guitarist, and like we had to listen to the radio while we were driving in California, and we heard a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers. And
that's
I was listening
California music, all right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to some of his guitar lines, and I was like, like this actually sounds kind of like formative to a lot of like modern Twinkle. You know, like I feel like modern Twinkle is kind of like a mixture of that like melancholy, like mineral derived Twinkle and fucking John Frusciante. I guarantee that's an unspoken influence.
I mean, like, yeah, his voice is kind of weird, and it's like very like beep beep boop beep boop California and having sex and doing drugs and stuff. But like, it's a time, like it's like, you know, you kind of like, it's a vibe. You gotta be in it, you know. I like kind of grew up on that shit, so to me it just sounds like my childhood and my dad getting me into music and stuff. And like, you know, as you go back into their early discography, like they actually had a lot of like hype, like punk influenced stuff that like subconsciously got me into like hype ass music and like shit like that.
Yeah, like I mean, like Flea's.
I do think like. Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
I was gonna say like Flea's bass playing is basically like Suicidal Tendencies meets like funk.
Yeah.
Lee was in. He was the bassist of Fear for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was in that movie Suburbia, Penelope Spheris directed. And that one Red Hot Chili Peppers song, "Fight Like a Brave," that song's fucking sick.
Are you saying because it's on Tony Hawk?
I've also been playing a lot of Tony Hawk.
That song is cool, albeit a bit, you know, dated, kind of weird, racist references. But
wait, what? I have never listened to the lyrics of that song. There's racist lyrics in it.
It's like, well, I mean, I guess it's more the music video. They wear like Native American headdresses and stuff because it's like "Fight Like a Brave."
Oh.
Yeah.
That's kind of cringe, bro. I think they're gonna lose subscriber.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it was also like, I don't think they did it with bad intent, because they've always been kind of like, even though they're not like a leftist radical band, they've always been about like pro diversity, anti-war. Like a lot of their lyrics are, you know, touching on that kind of stuff, even if it's not as like radical as Rage Against the Machine were or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
although they were kind of homies with Rage Against the Machine. I do remember that. Yeah.
I feel like I can't hold on to this information, but like there are like tons of accusations against them from like gang raping someone.
Against who?
Oh,
The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The band as a whole?
Yeah.
Whoa, I did not know about that.
No, me neither. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're basically like a band that's uncancelable because they're so big, but like, yeah. That stuff's out there.
That is pretty fucked up. Maybe we should move on then.
And like I feel like someone said at one point that like there's just straight up cancelable stuff all over the Anthony Kiedis book.
Oh yeah, I've heard that he talks about like fucking like underage girls in that book.
Yeah, but I mean, he also had a really like morally like unclear upbringing because his dad was a porn star drug dealer.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that stuff is like he was like basically a kid when like most of the book takes place. Like I don't know. I'm not like an expert. I read that book in like probably freshman year of high school, and it's sitting in my room somewhere. Like I don't remember a lot of it, but I do kind of remember that his dad like let him smoke weed when he was like 8 years old and stuff, and like he almost died from doing heroin at one of his dad's parties when he was like not even 10.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because his dad was like, you know, you can do coke, but don't touch this pile over here. Don't touch that. And it was like white China heroin. And he
holy shit. I feel like I should read this book.
I mean, I don't know. I remember it being a pretty interesting book.
I don't know. This probably just like speaks poorly of me, but I just really like. I very much enjoy like reading about fucked up shit. Like,
oh, it's definitely fucked up in the beginning because like, yeah, his dad's a bigger piece of shit than I would guess that Anthony Kiedis is. Like, I don't know what allegations there are against him, but the shit that he says about his dad really like speaks volumes about how fucked up his life was.
I remember being like 12 and reading American Hardcore and just being like, oh shit, all these like legendary hardcore punk bands are just like actually filled with like fucking scumbags. And I'm not sure why I expected differently, but I was also 12 and just kind of thought that everyone was like cool.
That should be a valid expectation.
Yeah, I was 12. I thought people were nice. But yeah, every like pretty much every musician that anyone has ever liked is probably kind of a dick, except for Claudio.
Except for me, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What have you been listening to, Kyle?
Oh, okay. I've been listening to not that much. I have been enjoying the new Frail Body record that I did not listen to when it came out. It somehow does feel
There's
like
a new Frail Hands record coming.
Oh yeah, I've seen people tweet about that. Yeah, I do like the Frail Body record like a lot, and it still feels like, yes, it's a Death Wish release, but it still feels like the thing that they've been kind of like building up to, and it sounds awesome. I do like the new Mover Shaker record a ton as well. I think that's a band that hasn't really been brought up on this podcast that much, but they're also one of those bands that's like, this is not an emo record. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it kind of fits in the scene and whatever. But yeah, that record's really good, and it sounds like a million things, and it's like one of those bands that's like kind of like a Cheem, where it's like, how did you like put all these things together and why does it work? Have y'all listened to that record though? Another Truck Stop?
Yeah, I heard that album and I was like, this is cool. I kind of like Michigania better. I don't know.
Yeah.
But and then I played with them in my town, and they blew me the fuck away. Like, they're one of those bands that like their live presence and they have like a wall of sound. It's crazy. They're so like such a tight band, and like they really do make those all those elements like come together so smoothly, and they're also just like great people. Like it's a good album. The only thing I would say like I wasn't huge on was like the production. It felt very like guitar heavy. I would have liked to hear more like, you know, drums and stuff like, and vocals. Like sometimes the vocals felt a little bit washed out. I don't know if that was on purpose or it was just like I don't know. I'm also like, I'm not an audiophile, contrary to popular belief. I'm kind of rambling. Good people, good music, good album.
So Mover Shaker put out a playlist that went along with that record of like shit that inspired it and stuff, and there was a Prince song on there that I've never heard, and then I think I'm having my like typical like dude that likes emo music likes Prince, because I feel like everyone that likes like hardcore, you know, like likes something like fucking, I don't know, like Tom Petty. I think I'm having my moment that I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Prince is the best thing that's ever happened to music.
I have noticed.
I mean, yeah, Prince fucking rules.
I've noticed a lot of hardcore people, and I think screamo people are super into Kate Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's one of those like legendary like art pop acts that you're kind of like expected to be into after like a certain age of being a hipster. Kind of like the next step after listening to The Cure, you know. As far as like embarrassing like dad rock that hardcore kids like will cop to listening to if you like try and squeeze it out of them, I really fucking love the song Free Bird. I think that song is like legitimately really, really good.
I ain't got shit to say about that.
Yeah.
That's
I also, while I was running, I've been listening to Rancid a lot, and Rancid have some very perfect albums. I'll stand by Outcome the Wolves being very good. Rancid 2000, was it 2001? Also fucking awesome. 2020, stop being afraid to like things that people probably think you're uncool to like. But I mean, Ellie just already copped to liking Sublime, so let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. I don't really listen to Rancid anymore. Not because like I think it's like uncool to listen to Rancid, because I do think Rancid is still at least cooler to listen to than The Offspring. But sometimes I do queue up Maxwell Murder because that is like the best solo of all time, like objectively, right?
Rancid's awesome. Descendants are awesome. I don't know. I mean, I can see why people don't like the Descendants because they're annoying. But
they have very like friend zone core lyrics. Yeah.
Yes.
But I loved them growing up, and I think Finn McKenney recently did a video about how they kind of like invented the modern template of pop punk, which is 100% true. And I think like specifically like their album All, which is like half pop punk songs, half like really weird experimental songs.
Mm-hmm.
The pop punk songs on that album are like the best things that they ever did as a band.
Yeah.
Like Coolidge is an incredible song. Pep Talk is an incredible song. Yeah, just a band that I think people got sick of talking about how influential they were, and then now they are kind of like wrapped back around to underrated.
Yeah. Otherwise, I listened to Zoo for the first time by Denzel Curry, and yeah, that's very, very good. And I'm glad that it's one of those things that like hip hop heads and more contemporary like people like mumble rap can enjoy, and it's just like right in the middle there.
I like mumble rap, hip hop head shit, and the mumblecore film genre.
Yeah,
so I think you're actually correct on all counts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Claudio, what have you been listening to?
Fall Out Boy from Under the Cork Tree has been my most recently played album, because I never really gave it a chance. You know, to me, Fall Out Boy was like associated with like just the rest of the shit that I thought was cringy in middle and high school, and it all sounded the same to me anyway. Like, I think one time I was on like a road trip and somebody played the whole album, and I was like, this has been the same song for 45 minutes. But no, I got into it recently. Like, some of those songs are bangers. What else? The new Short Fictions record, Fate's Worse Than Death. Fuck. I've really liked this album. I think it's the best, like, Twinkle or Twinkle adjacent, whatever album that's come out in recent memory. Like, it's really just, like, a good album to be sad about the world being fucked up about. Shinguard 2020, enough said. Shinguard 2020. I got into one of David Bazan's side projects called Headphones. They're like self-titled LP. That shit is flames. I really like it. It's like sad and like bleep bloop and shit. It's sick.
Sad bleep bloop and shit. Yeah, Headphones like reminds me of like it kind of reminds me of like the Postal Service, but like more dour and like indie. Like Postal Service is like indie the way everyone thinks about it, but Headphones is like very much in that like Pacific Northwest. It's rainy and you got this album on cassette type of indie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love David Bazan's music. Like I fuck with my heavy rotation has been Phoenix Pedro the Lion. Like that's to me like that's a perfect like winter be sad album because it's like I love shit that like is like narrative and like tells stories. There's that one song in that record, I think it's Black Canyon, that's like super like detailed about his uncle that was a paramedic and the story that he told him. It's like it's super sad, but it's like it's still really like even though it's like some experience that I'll like never have, it's like feels really cathartic anyway. Like it just is. It feels like something I can relate to, even though I fully do not. Oh, and I saw that Posture and the Grizzly like got back together or like starting to do another album. So I was like, fuck yeah, I almost forgot about them. And I've been listening to Bush Hymns and I Am Satan a bunch like in these past few days.
That's the best news. I didn't even know about that.
The other reunion that I've been hearing about is this a joke? Is it a joke that fucking Kid Crash are getting back together? Is that like real?
I think it's a joke, cause like they've been teasing like their final album, which they've had done for like 3 years now.
That sucks.
So it just comes back like every 6 months or so.
Yeah, that's damn. I would really like to hear that. They should put it out.
The thing about Kid Crash that I think is cool is they're one of those bands that actually got like much less heavy as time went on. Or sorry, like they got much more heavy as time went on. I said that wrong. Like they started out like almost more like pop punky, like just like more of like an accessible screamo band, and kind of like evolved into like the weird, aggressive, like jazzy, dissonant thing that we know them to be now.
Yeah, it's dope. They're like it feels that like it sounds like Twinkle, like it's like Twinkle shit, but it's like I don't know, it's more deep than that. It's like
yeah,
it's so deep, like it's something that you would find on Tumblr. No, it's not. I don't know. And they did that shit like a long time ago before like it was cool to do it, which is like
yeah. Jokes came out in 2007, which is crazy because like the Twinkle Scrams thing really started hitting like critical mass in 2010.
And I was
Midwest else.
And I was in the second grade when that came out, so
that's fucked up, bros. Holy shit. You're too young to be on this podcast.
Damn, yeah. I mean, I turned 21 this year. I'll be able to buy my own booze and shit.
Congratulations.
Buy my own Juul pods if it comes down to it.
Oh, yeah. So if you're not grandfathered in under this, like, under 21 thing?
No. It changed in my state in July. And then so what happened was I went on, I bought pods before I went on the Short Fictions tour. And then I came back on like July 7th, and then they were like, sorry, like we can't sell you Juul pods. And I was like, why not? I'm in here all the time. Here's my ID. And they were like, no, like you're not grandfathered in. Like it's just, you can't. And I was like, I was really mad about it. And I still am. Like, I still think that's really dumb.
Yeah, that's fucking asinine. You definitely should be grandfathered. Like it should be like children born after like 2002 or something. Can not buy like tobacco products until they're 21, but that's just like nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh, I think except if you're in the military. If you're in the military, you get away with it.
Yeah, but I don't have any bootlicker friends, so that doesn't help me.
Okay, so I have a couple topics here, kind of bigger, but you know. It's the beginning of the year. There's not a lot of news. We do have some news to talk about, but it's all kind of catch-up news. Catch-up news. Like, remember when Heinz made green ketchup? So one of my favorite episodes of Axe to Grind was, you know, Bob just said, here's what the episode's about. How's hardcore? And I was like, whoa. That was such a cool thing. But I think we kind of alluded to this into the last episode, but like emo's kind of in a weird place. Like it's like moving around. We're all kind of getting sick of it. So the first topic here is, what is your relationship to emo currently? Like, are you listening to it? Are you actively finding out about new shit? How are you finding out? out about new shit. So we'll start there. My relationship to emo now is I am not looking for it. If something seems to be getting screamed about enough, i.e. Short Fiction's album, I'm gonna listen to it. But otherwise, like, I'm not gonna be surfing Bandcamp emo revival tags or anything like that. Not that I ever was, but like, I don't know. I'm definitely sick of emo.
And that's, I feel like it's not good for hosts of an emo podcast to be like, oh, kind of sucks right now. Because, like, the thing is, like, the stuff that's rising, like, to become, like, the cream of the crop right now, like, stuff like Prince Daddy and Origami Angel and Glass Beach and Short Fictions, like, off the top of my head. All that's, like, aside from Short Fictions, none of that stuff is really, like, traditionally what we've been calling emo, like, the past, like, 5 or so years.
And we've also been listening to those bands for the past 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people are just now kind of like starting to pick up on specifically Origami Angel and Prince Daddy, who've been kind of like making noise for a while. I guess like the first Glass Beach album is like their first like thing, and that sound not completely divorced from emo, but like the lineage it's taking from is you know, it's a lot more fragmented.
I actually I have an opinion about Glass Beach that I don't know if it's been talked about. I haven't really been paying attention, but to me, like Glass Beach sounds like evolved like Brave Little Abacus. Like it's like
yeah,
where like it's like that wasn't. It was only considered emo via association with like Captain Jazz and stuff. Or like the bands that they were playing with, I guess. Is that right? Like that Brave Little Abacus were like they weren't really hip to emo. They just kind of like were in it.
Kind of. I do think Brave Little Abacus like were emo. They just had like a really like left field experimental take on it. And I know that Jay from Glass Beach is like a huge Brave Little Abacus fan, and I can definitely hear that influence. To me, Glass Beach is a lot less interesting than Brave Little Abacus, though.
I mean, it doesn't have like the desperation of Brave Little Abacus had, but like,
yes, it sounds more like sanded down.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like you're right. It's not as like I don't know, like you said, like desperate, like but it is a lot more accessible in like pop quality without without even really like getting rid of too many it's pop qualities, even though there's like a lot more experimental shit going on. Like I think that's something that like that's the reason Brave Little Abacus are only talked about by nerds like us on podcasts, and not really in the main lexicon of like bands that are like were around at the same time. Like I think Glass Beach is on a right trend of like appealing to like Zoomer meme shit, and I think that's gonna like make them be able to go pretty far, at least right now. Like I thought it was pretty gigantic that they got picked up by Run for Cover. I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, but Run for Cover is kind of in like this weird space of like all of our bands outgrew us or broke up. Let's find the new one. Yeah. So let's just.
I thought Run for Cover was gonna kind of like fall through like the same way that like Side One Dummy kind of just like dissolved. I didn't know what really happened with that, but I was expecting Run for Cover to be like, all right, we're just gonna become something completely different now, and like we're not doing pop punk and like emo and shit anymore. I think it's good that they got Glass Beach. Like I think like financially and like infrastructurally they have a lot of like shit that they can provide for them. But the only thing about Glass Beach that I can't get past is their like production quality. It's pretty bad. Like the drums are not great at all. Like the drums really bug me on that. Like the especially like in the first song. I think the aux shit sounds really good, but like the drums and the vocals sound really weird sometimes. and not in like a cool weird way, and like the we recorded this in our basement way. But you know, that's just how it be. I can't.
But that's also one of the things where it's like this was literally not made for Run for Cover to hear. It was made for like just something to appear on Bandcamp, and then people just kept tweeting Glass Beach Band until they got signed to Run for Cover. So it's like
Right, yeah.
that's like not what they were trying to do, you know? And
no, I know
that's
that.
like one of those things that like emo deals with all the time is like people glom onto this shit that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Overall,
Did Run for Cover like fund their music video? Oh.
It came out on their YouTube channel, I think.
Why are people still making music videos in like 2020?
Because this shit's fun.
Oh, that's fair.
Did you spend any money on yours though, Claudio?
We paid our friend because she filmed it and edited it for us. But we didn't like go out and hire somebody. She was just our friend. We were thinking about doing another one to kind of like end the off the goop cycle and attempt to like have something to fill the gap between when Off the Goop came out and when our next thing's going to come out. But with Liam going away, I don't think that'll happen. I think Gami's music videos are probably the best music videos that have come out like from DIY in like any recent memory. Like they're really well coordinated and like creative and outside of the box and weird.
Well, I do think there's a difference between like straight up DIY music videos and then like labels like actually putting money into music videos. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I actually don't know if Run for Cover like paid for the video. I do remember them tweeting about like filming it pretty like a good gap of time before that they were like fully signed to Run for Cover or like announced it at least. They could have been in the works with them though. Like they could have already been working stuff out. They could have added that to their like to their contract. I don't know.
Word. But yeah, and then like Prince Daddy is like they're basically just Weezer. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just feel like there's like a lot of parallels between Cosmic Thrill Seekers and like Songs from the Black Hole. And Origami Angel is just like a hodgepodge of a whole bunch of shit. So I think the thing about emo right now is that people are like really scrambling to find like a new sound to glom onto. And that's why like those three bands, Prince Daddy, Origami Angel, and Glass Beach, have kind of become some of the biggest hype bands, is because all of them are like exhibiting a completely new and different approach to the genre. And it's different from like the frat emo mom jeans stuff that has been getting hype. And I think people are starting to like really grow fucking sick and tired of that.
Yeah, it's like everything that really could have been done and said within the confines of like twinkle emo and then even twinkle emo into pop punk. It's like, what else is there to say? I was even talking about this with Fernando last night. I was like, they should have ended pop punk at Neck Deep. Like they should have been like, okay, this is the line. Like we reached it. Like there's no more. Like they've used all the power chords.
Yeah.
They've said all the things about the ex-girlfriends and pizza and bony knees and fucking sleepy eyes and listening to songs in the old car. Like that's it. Like it's all done.
Well, what's the current hype pop punk band? Stuff like Grayscale and Water Parks. Like it literally
names that I've heard a lot.
It sounds like Disney shit. Like,
Yeah,
and I don't mean that as a pejorative. It just is not. It's not DIY.
Well,
So that's not really like I don't really hear people talking about it like in my circles.
the interesting thing about both pop punk and emo is that they're both heading towards the direction of easycore. Like they're all getting heavier. Like they're all having like breakdowns and shit, and like including like, you know, stuff that we were hearing from like Shunk No Captain Shunk and A Day to Remember in like, you know, 2008, because like I don't know, it's just because like people like hardcore and people like breakdowns, and breakdowns are hype, and people also like fun shit. Like people like to listen to music about smoking weed and like, you know, having fun with your friends, and like I don't know, like the sad shit is kind of like played out at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're like an indie artist or like somebody like, you know, like David Bazan, who's like constantly writing, you know, like new and like weird but relatable shit. I don't know. There's like a select number of people right now that can pull it off.
And obviously the wave has been hip hop for a while, but like we've made this point over and over and over again that the kids who would be starting new pop punk bands and new emo bands are instead just becoming like rappers in the emo rap type of vein. And I think Finn McKenney made this point already, but like when you listen to like a lot of like the stuff like Little Lotus or Lil Gucci High Waters, it really just sounds like pop punk, but with more noticeable auto-tune and with 808s instead of acoustic drums.
Yeah, that's totally like a thing. Like that, Lil Peep was doing that too. Like,
yeah,
I made a note in here: is emo being eclipsed by hardcore, or maybe even indie? Like, do you think that like just the popularity of hardcore and the appeal of indie have made emo glossed over for like maybe like a year or two? Like I guess it puts emo almost like behind.
I absolutely think that. I think that like hardcore as a genre is like more it's like everything about emo but better. Like it's like it's just like
yeah,
everything even politically and like socially and like I don't know, it's just like it's what people really want to hear, but like it's kind of hard to find because of this weird like band like stigma, I want to say, like bands like that are like in local scenes and like bands that aren't like huge, they have this weird adversity to like promoting their shit online and having like more than just a Bandcamp page out of, I guess, fear of looking like a poser or looking like a local band. Like I don't really get that, but I know that there's like a lot of cool bands doing like new and innovative shit that are like kind of getting glossed over in favor of like metalcore revival shit that like doesn't really need to be a thing.
Yeah. The thing I've noticed, I think this has been the case, you know, starting even in like 2014, but it's definitely the case now that like emo bands that kind of gets to some level of popularity become subsumed into the indie industrial complex. And then on the screamo side, it's kind of going in two directions. Half of screamo is just kind of going like, fuck it, I guess we're metalcore now, and like being usurped into the hardcore scene. And then the other half of screamo is like, fuck it, we're still screamo, we're still like ultra DIY hardcore, but you know, they don't like get noticed outside of playing in basements. And to some degree, they're fine with that because that's like they want. But the bands that are like trying to make a career out of it are all going into like the metalcore direction.
And I even think there are a lot of places to go in hardcore right now. Like there's more labels in hardcore than there are for emo too. Is that true?
Yeah, because God knows people
yeah.
wouldn't accept Sparkle Punk as, you know, their fate.
Yes. Honestly, I'm gonna point to the rejection of Sparkle Punk as like the reason emo died kind of in 2019. If people had just kind of rode that wave, I really think we'd be in a different spot. It just kind of atomized, like everything kind of like disintegrated and people started going in like a whole bunch of different lanes. And you can see it on the subreddit, like even more than before, emo is just kind of like a catch-all for like this vague DIY scene where everyone kind of sounds the same, but also not at the same time. The appeal of hardcore is that hardcore is kind of having like a mainstream moment right now, which I wrote an article about that at the beginning of 2019, and then at the end of 2019, someone from Billboard ripped my entire article off. But that's a different story.
Damn.
Was that the one where the person talked to like Patrick Kindland and all those other people?
Yeah.
So I do want to also throw an indie in this conversation because I think indie is having its sad boy, sad girl music moment for sure. I don't know if emo's losing clout because of it, but like I definitely think of these I mean there's tons of artists I haven't even listened to, but they're definitely like just I don't know, like your soccer mommies, your smaller than soccer mommies too, like it's definitely like
your J Breckies. Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's ones that are just like truly just like sad boy like bedroom pop stuff that's happening. And I feel like this is happening
I was gonna say it's like
this is like round 2 or round 3 of it.
Yeah, it's the second wave of bedroom pop for sure. Maybe even the third wave of bedroom pop, and it's like much more popular than this stuff ever was before. Like before, it was just kind of like dominating a very like niche kind of like Tumblr-y subset of DIY. And now that Tumblr's not really a thing, it just kind of is the wave.
And then like somehow some of the stuff is adjacent to emo trap too. I did like about 5 minutes of like looking around of that Bladey person.
It's Blade.
It's Blade? Okay. Yeah, Blade.
Blade. Yeah.
And like I just don't even understand what's going on there. Like,
he's been around for a minute. Because, Young Lean's been around for a while, and he was been part of Young Lean's posse for forever. And yeah, I think that stuff, like the Young Lean, Blade, like the Drain Gang stuff, is not quite like emo trap or emo rap. It's just kind of like sad rap. And I was texting you about this like back in 2013, 2014. It's, if you listen to Young Lean, I meant you wore like a bucket hat and like DM'd girls on Tumblr about Spooky Black. Like that's what that meant. But now like it's like fucking huge. Like it's an unstoppable force. And I think like the link between like the rap stuff and the bedroom pop stuff is Tyler the Creator's more recent material. It kind of is like a bridge, because it's like the production is really like lush and gorgeous, and it's easy to go from like this kind of like lush, overproduced. I mean, overproduced isn't the right word, but it feels really lush for like bedroom pop. It's easy to bounce from that to this like spacey type of like Echo 2K, that sort of thing.
It's weird because like I know that shit is not for me at all. It's for like very young people or something. I don't know, because like I just don't understand it.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
I guess where does that leave us? I mean, like, what's the future of emo then? Is it are we gonna just have to wait a couple of years for it to become a thing again, you think?
I think it's gonna go more in the direction of punk. Like I think it's gonna keep going like angrier. It's gonna go like circle all the way back to like emotive hardcore, I can guarantee it.
Bands like Charity and stuff like that, I think, are kind of, and Anxious, I think, are gonna be the new wave, because they're definitely rooted in hardcore right now. But Title Fight eventually wrapped their way from hardcore to emo and pop punk, and I think that's kind of what like these bands are gonna do.
The thing is that I know that there's someone listening to this in some city that has a really poppin' scene right now, and it's gonna be like, what the fuck are these fools talking about? Emo is alive and well. And like that very well can be the case, but like I think just from an internet's perspective, I mean, there aren't that many emo touring bands right now.
There really aren't. Like you can have like a flourishing scene and only have like 5 bands and still not feel like, and like those bands don't even have to like blow up. Like there's places in fucking like for example, Falston, Maryland, Morning Dew's scene. Like that's a place where like people don't really like pay attention to internet shit at all, other than like, probably Sammy is like one of the only people. Sammy Heck is like one of the only people who actively participates on like Twitter and like actually like keeps up with shit. A lot of that shit is just like people go to shows because that's the thing to do, and like that to me is like the purest form of DIY. Like I wish that like I could get to that point of like not having to give a shit about the internet and like just kind of being a band and like having a active like one-on-one fan base. Like, but unfortunately we are permanently logged on, as Ellie says. So that's unless you start out that way and end that way, you're just kind of doomed to be online.
Or terminally online. It's a shame that I wrote like this super articulate piece, because I think it just drained my ability to like do words. So I just sound like a fucking dumbass this entire podcast.
Well, it's okay because that was a really, really well written article.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So we're already an hour in. Do you want to talk about your piece, or do you want to table it for another time, or like?
All right. So yesterday, I put an essay kind of about a DIY and its relationship with liberal politics in contrast with like leftist politics, and kind of the way that online DIY culture has kind of like failed us, either because of the way it's allowed neoliberalism to co-opt identity politics and use like hollow representation as a replacement for actual empowerment, and the way that DIY has kind of weaponized cancel culture in a really gross, counterproductive way that has nothing to do with the restorative justice that everyone likes to talk about. So you can go read that piece at youdon'tneedmaps.substack.com. It's called Let's Talk About DIY Twitter. And I would suggest going and reading it before we get into this discussion. Okay, cool. I'm glad you're back. Kyle and Claudia, you both read this piece, so what were your thoughts on it?
I really liked it. I thought it put a lot of things like into words that like I felt, but like didn't really know how to like phrase myself, because like I'm not as involved in like, I don't know, like politics of the scene as I should be. Like the thought of that stuff kind of gives me anxiety due to like that one time that I was like thrust into it, and I just like since then I've been kind of avoiding like, you know, talking about it outside of my like in real life friend group.
Yeah, well, it's an anxiety-inducing space because of how like angry and defensive everyone is.
Yeah, everybody has their takes, and they're like everybody's like outraged about something, even if it's like you're on the same like team. And so it's like, I don't know. It's not like I actively avoided it. If it ever came up in conversation, I would talk about it, and it's still something that like is like super important, and I probably should, you know, take more of a public stance on shit because of like my privilege of like having a platform like my band. But yeah, like back to the article, like I really thought it was well put. Especially I really like the part about how a lot of people don't put their you know, the way they tweet about politics and their like diversity and you know, leftism and stuff, they don't put that shit into practice, and they kind of just like say the same shit to the same people who agree with them, and then give themselves a pat on the back or a cookie for, you know, even thinking about diversity or like having, you know, a non-cis straight white man on a bill. Like it's like there's a lot more to that than they're like people even like really say. And I really respect that it was like it's kind of like that shit should be put on a zine and given out to people as they walk into shows. Like it just kind of, it's like an outline of everything that like is wrong with the scene right now, and I think everybody should read it. I think that it should be talked about way more.
Yeah, kind of wrapping it back to like what is our relationship to emo right now. I think a lot of the reason that we feel alienated from emo as a scene is because it's kind of like descended into this morass of it's too socially complex for anyone to parse without like immediately being attacked.
And also like people's stances change on shit really quick, and it's kind of hard to, everything's moving so fast that like the public opinion on somebody or something will change so quickly that like there's kind of a whiplash, and then it's like a flash in the pan, and then so like that people are like, oh yeah, this is what we think now, and then there are some people who are like, oh, what happened to this, like what's the deal with this, and they're like, it's not my job to educate you, dick, go fucking read a book.
Yeah, the opinion that was woke to have last week is now problematic to have this week, and it's gonna be fine again next week. It's real fucking weird. Kyle, what did you think?
I thought it was just dominant. Like it's like it's very hard to just be like you're wrong about anything because everything is just so. It's been true the whole time. You know what I mean? Like it's something that like no one wanted to put into this manifesto like you did, I guess. And I know that you personally got like DMs from people mentioned in the article and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like brave of you to name drop like Nicole's experience in there, or not her experience, rather than just like.
I mean, when I was talking about Nicole, I kind of was, trying to take accountability for the fact that I feel like I participated in trying to take away her space to grow as a person and improve, which I think she's still capable of. And I do think like people who are marginalized are much more vulnerable to being victims of counterculture, and then that isolation, from a community that they thought was always going to be there, a community that they rely on for like emotional support, that gets stripped away. And it's so easy for people to fall into self-harm or be more susceptible to harm from others when they don't have like a community backing them up. And with some people, I do, as I say in the article, I do think it's best for them to just go the fuck away. But I think we should try and err on the side of helping people learn and grow. Like that should be the purpose of this progressive scene that we're trying to build, because you can't have a progressive society when people aren't on the same page. But it's hard to get people on the same page when instead of trying to educate them, you just kind of drop them into a boiling pit. Sorry, I got off track. I think it's hard to educate people when, they have a fucked up perspective if your first response is just to cut them off,
Mm-hmm.
And also you mentioned like something that I feel like needs to be brought up, even though I dread bringing it up like every time, is that that's true for some cases, and then in other cases you just have to like, this person cannot be trusted and they have to be like dropped off. And like that's like where you brought up like Lou Diamond in the article, like that was a thing that like it was a whole more sinister like thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's still, and it's like it's been so long since that happened. And like now they're like trying to come back again. Like I'm not trying to promote it. Like I'm trying to like not name drop anywhere it's coming from. But like I've seen it, and it's like the fact that like that person, it's clear that there's no real rehabilitation possible there. Like it's maybe on their own. Like maybe at some point, but like that moved so far beyond like a community being able to like help and like kind of steer towards accountability, that it was just like, no, like,
yeah, because their like spider web of manipulation is just like so far woven, like, and they're still like bringing in kids who, I think a lot of people who are like maybe younger or newer to the scene and kind of, I don't want to say grooming them, but like definitely like, I don't know, fuck it, grooming them, to just kind of overlook the shit they've done and say that they've grown even though they've done nothing to show that they actually have grown. So yeah, I did just want to emphasize that I do think like sometimes just straight up canceling someone is good for the general health and well-being of the community.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was really surprised by the response it got. It like did Iron Man numbers on Twitter. Lots of people DM'd me about it. And really I was just expecting to get canceled for it.
Well, like, did you like? I guess one I wanted to ask, like, what was the catalyst for you writing this, or like about this topic, like, or was it just something that you had finally like came to a conclusion on with your own thoughts or something?
Yeah, this had been like percolating in my head for like a month now, and I'm sure people could tell because I was just kind of like angrily DMing them about it when it got brought up. Like, I think I was even like texting you about it like a couple days ago, or like a couple days before I started writing it. And then ContraPoints, who is canceled for her own shit, but she put out the video on canceling, and I was like, I can apply a lot of the logic in this video to what's going on in the DIY scene, and I think it's important that we talk about it from a left-wing, like, kind of more socially responsible perspective. Because another thing that happened is, you know, I posted the article on our email, which was a fucking mistake, because half the people who commented on that were like chuds who are just like, cancel culture should be canceled. One person commented on it like, I'm a libertarian and blah, blah, blah. As soon as you say you're a libertarian, I don't want fucking anything to do with your opinion. You know, but also, do you remember when we almost got canceled because of that whole Shortly thing?
Yeah.
So one of the people who was kind of like dragging our ass over it, they're in a band. They like read the article and replied to it on Twitter with their band account, and they were just like, hey, this was a really well-written article, and it kind of like made me reevaluate the actions of myself and my friends. And I think that's been my favorite response that I've gotten so far. Is I just want people to I'm serious. Like, I just want people to like kind of reevaluate the way they've been doing shit. And some people learned a lesson from it. Other people didn't. I think we're going to get to it with the Fredo Disco talk later, but I think people kind of just ignored it and went back to their old ways immediately.
On that note, I'm going to hop into Target real quick and buy a phone charger because my shit's about to die. I'll still be on the call. I'm just going to probably put it on mute. So, okay.
Word.
Hold up.
All right. I think that's actually like a perfect time for us to pivot to talking about Adult Mom.
Yes.
Because Claudia said that he didn't want it to he didn't want to have anything to do with that conversation.
All right.
So the Tiny Engines pseudo cancellation is what you have it labeled as.
Yes. So this happened the top of December, or the top of November. Adult Mom basically took to Twitter that they have not been getting paid royalties from Tiny Engines, that they asked about getting out of their contract with Tiny Engines, but Tiny Engines owns their masters. It will not give them that stuff, and basically went on a Twitter tirade being transparent about this stuff. And it got as far as a tweet that's saying the business model of Tiny Engines take advantage of non-men on your label and attempt to manipulate them while stealing the money that they owe you from your failing business afloat. Yeah, Adult Mom not getting paid and then getting laughed at for asking to get paid or asking for proof of royalty statements and stuff like that, and saying like, I have a family, I can't pay you and stuff like that. Basically, read the Twitter thread before me trying to summarize it. It's a very long thread.
Yeah, if you Google Adult Mom Tiny Engines, I think there's like a stereo gum or a Consequence of Sound like rundown of it. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So Tiny Engines has essentially, I mean, you could still buy your records from them, but they stopped. Like, they have not tweeted, promoted anything. They're basically just open for shop, and that's it.
Yeah. So obviously, it's fucking awful what happened to Adult Mom. Like, I think this is this is definitely a situation of just extreme incompetence on Tiny Engine's part, and I definitely think that with what Adult Mom said about the way that Tiny Engines was talking to them about it, it also crosses over into just straight up like disrespectful territory. Yeah. And
kind of like attempted manipulation of, I have a family.
Yes. Yeah, that's straight up like emotional manipulation, like right out of the playbook. Also, in this little write-up you have, did they overstep by calling out? I don't know. I don't know if they overstep by calling out, because I feel like at a certain point, it seemed like it had been building up for so long that the only way they felt they could get recourse was by talking about it publicly and trying to like
that opened up a ton of former signees being like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah. And when enough people are saying that, when enough people are like saying that this is like a pattern, I think that then you have like a real big problem on your hands. And I am not sure how Tiny Engines gets out of it. Like, I don't think they have any like real assets to liquefy, and it just sounds like they're in massive debt from all the mechanical royalties that they owe.
Yeah.
And the worst part is, seems to be kind of like unofficial debt.
Yeah. So I can't speak of this from like running a label perspective or something, but like I think like asking a truly independent label like for royalty statements is, I mean, like I could probably imagine there's no one doing much bookkeeping, and I can imagine someone be like, let me get back to you, and then like doing their books for the first time in like 2 months and then giving you something back. That's negligent for sure. But like I know
it's negligent, and it's,
I was gonna say, I know for a fact that Asian Man Records like does pay out royalties, and it's incredibly small, and to the point where I think it was Pet Symmetry that was like, fuck you giving us royalties, we're gonna take you out to dinner, Mike Park, because you're the best person to ever do this. So like it could be like extremely bad if you're not making much money and you just want the money that you're owed.
Yeah, I think, and this is in no way a defense of Tiny Engines, but I do think people in general kind of overestimate like how much money labels make, and the kind of like just the kind of the amount of people that they have on staff / like the amount, like the ability that they are able to like work on label shit outside of the real life. And in my opinion, the answer to that is, you know, don't start a label if you're not going to be able to like keep to your shit and make sure people are paid for responsibly, obviously.
Yeah.
And for example, like Death Wish is a shockingly small label, despite their clout, and they're also completely able to pay out royalties. Same with like a number of other hardcore labels like Triple B, for example. And Triple B has like way too many people signed to it. Like I have no idea how the fuck Sam does it.
Yeah.
To me, this speaks to just people in DIY, you know, being too optimistic, and if not handshake deals, then entering into very shaky legal agreements.
Yeah.
And like just opening themselves up to being fucked over. That sounds kind of victim blamey, but I want to say that Adult Mom is not the one in the wrong here whatsoever.
Right.
But I do think people should. I think Adult Mom was not wrong to call this out publicly. And I do think that like a public accountability process was probably the only way that they felt they could get recourse or any actual justice. And I think there's like a cynical mindset that would say that, you know, Adult Mom kind of grifted the situation into kind of like advertising their band over everyone else on the label. And I don't really want to say one way or the other on that, but I do think overall it came off kind of like self-centered, and I realize that's probably like due to the fact that, you know, this has been frustration building up for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so obviously when it comes out, it's going to be like a kind of like, I've been getting fucked over tirade.
Yeah. I will.
So I think that consequence is unintentional.
Yeah. I think a way to look at this is that, and this is unfavorable, of course, but like Adult Mom uses Twitter for this purpose a lot. Like, you know, like not getting paid handsomely, touring musician is basically the genre of their Twitter account. And say if this came from like Strange Ranger's account instead of Adult Mom, like it would have been a way different game. Like everyone would have been like, holy fuck, Tiny Engines, what a fucking piece of trash label. And instead, there are some people that were rolling their eyes at this, which is interesting, which is a feminist lens to look at it, is like, but like, yeah, it's kind of fascinating because it's such a pseudo cancellation that I think Tiny Engines could probably put out a record like at the end of this year and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Like I think that people would like allow it to happen.
There's a feminist lens to look at it, which is that like this is someone who's not a man, you know, coming out and saying I've been taken advantage of, and people are rolling their eyes at it, which is gross.
Yeah.
It feels ignorant to say that, like in Adult Mom's case specifically, this is kind of like, oh, the person who cried wolf, because they, like you said, they kind of just tweet constantly and seemingly make themselves the victim constantly. But in this case, it does seem to be that they actually are, you know, the victim of the situation.
Yeah.
I will say there are. I don't want to name names, but like several people have like talked to me in private about being scared of Adult Mom's Twitter presence, because their following is very cult-like. Kind of in the same way that Haley Butters, like the Absinthe Father, this band fucks community, is very cult-like, and so anyone that they cancel will deal with severe ire. But I think that's kind of balanced out by in the Tiny Engines case by the amount of other people who came out and backed up Adult Mom. And it's fucked up that, you know, the reason that we're ascribing credibility to Adult Mom's claims is because other people are backing it up. Yeah, it's a really fucking messy, complex situation from both just like an economic responsibility standpoint and also from like a social context standpoint.
I want to wrap the Tiny Engines talk up, but I think the another interesting thing about this is like it's a small label. I don't think people are expecting to sign to Tiny Engines and be on Tiny Engines forever, because it seems like just a diving board label. You sign to your first indie because you're a small ass band, and then you go to a bigger label, and like Tiny Engines has that machine to actually make you a bigger band because you put out a record label. I mean, a record on a real record label, and you got the features because Tiny Engines has that pull. But I guess we found out that the downfall is that you don't get paid.
Yes.
And like
a shout out to Chatterbot Records for actually like giving a shit, like we said last time. And
I think that's
like
I do to hop back in.
Yeah, I do just want to say at the end of all this, there are DIY labels that are run by good people who take the time and make sure that their bands are taken care of, and we should be doing our best to support labels like that, and we should be doing what we can to make Tiny Engines take some accountability for what happened to Adult Mom.
And
which
everyone.
Has no bearing on how much... Yeah, and everyone else. Which has no bearing on how I feel about Adult Mom in general.
Okay. 15 minutes. We're going to talk about Snowing, Fredo Disco, and My Chemical Romance.
Okay.
All right.
Now time for me to step in with some conversation here about Alfredo Fettuccine Disco.
Frederick Discotheque. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So currently, just put a timestamp on it. Fredo Disco is tweeting about people hating him currently. And specifically just name searching and finding that people don't like Fredo Disco.
Yeah, so let's take it back a little bit
Yes.
to 2017. 2017, he started posting like SoundCloud links to his songs on like the emo subreddit, and like was gaining some traction. You know, like as you know, people who write modern baseball mom jeans songs do. Like they just, you know, people like that shit, so they were like kind of bumping it. And the only thing was that he had a Reddit handle. His Reddit username back then was
Hi there, it's Hitler.
yeah, so that was a little bit alarming, and it was so like everybody was kind of just side-eyeing him, like and he was like, oh no, it's just like, you know, a joke. But the more we interacted with him, I was trying to put together some like compilation back then. I don't remember what it was for. There were a couple that I tried to do, but to give like a reference, this is like before the Rain compilation came out, the one that was I think it was We Believe You.
Mm-hmm.
That one
Yeah.
we were on, but this was like taking place before that, so like way, you know, back. A lot of shit's happened since then, but you know, we were kind of like, we had like a Twitter friend group, you know, and he really wanted to be in it, and so like we had him, but he was constantly just like saying or like singing about like stuff that was pretty, you know, like ignorant and like kind of sexist, and like I think one of the big things that happened was that he tried to call a song just bitch, like he wanted to call a song on his EP bitch, and that the hook was that you're just a bitch because it's about an ex-girlfriend or whatever, and like people tried to be like, hey, you know, maybe don't do that, and he was like all right, I guess, like I don't know, I don't think it's that bad, and people were like, no, it's kind of that bad, like you shouldn't do that. And then it was just, from then on, it was just kind of a laundry list of like us being like, how many times do we have to tell you this is not, like, this is beyond the point of like educating somebody, because he's my age, you know, we were going into this at the same point, and it was always me that had to be the one that to be like, hey, yeah, that's not, you can't say shit like that. But then, you know, as time went on, like, you know, he was just kind of doing his own thing, and like I think, I'm not sure if it was Liam or somebody else, but somebody went back on his Instagram, the one that he made his band Instagram, and found like pictures of him and his friends doing like racist caricatures of Asian people. And we were like, whoa, like this is kind of fucked up, and like talked to him about it. And we were like, hey man, like you kind of really need to explain yourself. And he was just like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, it was like a different time. It was like, you know, and we were like fucking whatever, man, like delete that shit. And at that point was when we started to like not be friends. We were like, fuck this guy, you know, and we made fun of him a lot behind his back, because he rips off mom jeans and modern baseball blatantly, and it was like funny. And then I guess I think word got out that we were like, us and a bunch of other bands that I won't name for their own sake, but like we were like talking mad shit about it and just making fun of him because he kind of post cringe all the time. And that's when he kind of like just became his own thing, where he was like more just into pop punk, and he somehow got that like record deal with like, first I think he got picked up by like a booking agency, like APA thing,
yeah,
and he got on support slots on a bunch of those. Like I think he toured with like Boston Manor, and like I know there's like one, I Have Mercy one announced, and like Hot Mulligan and shit like that. It was like, damn. And then he got signed by that. I think it's a subsidiary of like Elektra and Warner. Is that right?
Fucking insane.
Yeah,
But yes.
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
So this whole time that we've been like doing the DIY thing, he's, you know, been getting big off of these like rip-off songs, basically like the Modern Jeans and Modern Baseball stuff. And like people have been like continually like snowball effect. Like he's just getting big. Like it's just what happens. So now we're at a point where we've gone too long without roasting him publicly. And when he actually like acts up and post cringe, we're like, yeah, fuck this guy. Remember this dude? Fuck him. And people are like, what are you talking about? I like Fredo. Is this just a meme? Is this like Heart Attack Man, where you like don't like him but you do? Like, what's wrong with Fredo? What did he do? And so now it's just one of those things where, like, am I really gonna, like, every person that says what happened with Fredo, am I really gonna list out fucking all that shit? Like, I'm sure I'm leaving out stuff because it was like a good like 6 months to a year that we were like talking to him and like he was like active. But like it's just one of those things where like now is the time where he decides to come back and like start trying to like he thinks that he just has haters. Like he thinks that it's just haters, man. I'm not gonna listen to haters. But like it's people just trying to educate you even after all the dumb shit that you've done. And I'm really fed up with it. Like I'm really just done. And today I made a tweet that was like, it's funny to me that like people think that they can educate Fredo without him screaming to his followers about cancel culture as if we didn't already try that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I said, in the replies, I said, stop listening to him. Stop going to his shows. Tell your friends to do the same until he listens and puts in some legwork for once. Stats and ticket sales are the only thing that will make his ears perk up. I guarantee it. And I'm starting to get some feedback, to put it lightly, on that.
Oof. The thing that's crazy to me is like, even despite the fact that he's really young, and keeping in mind that you were the same age and have managed to pick up on shit way faster, just the fact that he continues to fuck up over and over and over again, and people started out so patient, and I think it's only logical that people are just kind of fed up with him now and are being like kind of short-tempered about it. But I think the most annoying thing is the way his persona has shifted from like Reddit edgelord to like Ulu Small Bean on his Twitter.
Yeah.
Because there's like an unspoken kind of association between being an Ulu Small Bean and being like performatively woke. And I think that perfectly demonstrates like the transformation he has made from being like deliberately edgy, like I'm going to name a song bitch, to what he is now, where you know he just keeps like making like these minor fuck ups, but it's okay because he's an SJW now.
But it's like it just kind of goes to show the like privilege you can have as a cis straight white guy. Like literally, like everybody has been just throwing shit at him, throwing him record deals, throwing him support slots, and like he's still somehow like people have been endlessly patient with him, and he's still it hasn't gotten it through his brain that like he's a douchebag.
Yeah, I think when your like solution or your answer to this is to like actively whine about cancel culture rather than like trying to take stuff into account. Like he pays lip service to the idea of like learning and growing, but
every time he does, because that's what gets him out of trouble.
But there's a limit. It's just over and over and over again, and I think he needs to like take a minute. I think he needs to take a fucking break. And it's weird because I'm like drawing parallels to like Nick from McCafferty. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily done anything as egregious, but like there's similarities in just like the frequency of fucking up and the fact that he keeps saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be better," and then just is not.
But like that's the thing about
Fredo. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just gonna say, there's constantly like, there's this thing that I don't know why it always happens, but like with Fredo Disco, with McCafferty, with Jank, people are constantly like, they like miss the whole thing about them being awful people, and they'll like be like, "Oh, I love this band," and it's like, "Oh, well, we have to have this conversation again," because they're still like in some respect DIY, that it's not like brand new where we all know like you aren't supposed to listen to brand new, but like there's constantly people that are just like discovering Jank and being like, this band rocks and we just have to.
Well, again, I don't even think it's like you have to stop listening. Like it's more just like,
but it's just
an adaptation into like more of a holistic worldview.
Yeah.
With like DIY stuff like this specifically, can I tell y'all a secret?
Sure.
Yeah.
These people are like fucking feigning ignorance. Like they are pretending to not be aware just so they can lure you into the trap of having the same bullshit separate the art from the artist argument over and over and over again.
You think so?
100%. I 100% believe this.
Okay. Because
people's response is never like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I'll, like and you know, Fredo's just on Twitter. You can just like at him and like ask him, hey, what the fuck's up with the shit? Like, but people who are initially on his side, who express that initial like, oh, I love Fredo Disco, are not the ones doing that.
That's kind of a good point. That never really even like crossed my mind.
Yeah, it feels very like almost astroturfy in a way. Like, I definitely don't think he's like paying people to do this, but like, is that I feel like it's like a concerted effort to just try and like overwhelm and make us just like stop giving a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really weird. I think it's a lot more like straightforward with like Fredo, because it's like nobody's saying that he's like canceled. Like,
yeah,
I think the thing is that like
he's not harmful, he's just irritating.
Yeah, it's like nobody keeps saying, like, I haven't seen a single person be like, fuck Fredo forever, he's fucking out for good. Nobody's saying that. Everybody keeps gently just like being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't like use that like Pepe screeching meme because it was like based on making fun of like autistic people. Maybe just maybe don't say that. And then he's just like, fucking cancel culture, fucking these people are haters, I'm done interacting with the haters, I'm going back to just making fun tunes. And it's like,
yeah,
he just doesn't listen. So like, you have to say shit like, maybe don't support him, get him kind of like, you gotta like bait him into actually listening, because if you're gentle with him, then he just is gonna take, you know, he's not gonna take anything from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
just
think
don't
another part of the problem,
patience.
I think another part of the problem is that the people who are like overtly fuck Fredo kind of have this this veneer of smugness, you know, like there was a specific person me and Claudio were talking about, and I was trying to like avoid name dropping them. So, but like it just kind of, I do think like part of the drive to continue in this endless cycle of, oh, I fucked up, I'm sorry, is just people like actively feeding into it because they want to like hear themselves talk about it, when the solution is obviously to just stop talking about Fredo Disco.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the solution for a while. We didn't talk about him, and I actually kind of wish that it. Well, I don't wish that it wasn't like we didn't talk about him, but like it was more so that like we went too long, and then now of his fans have no idea the cringy shit he did, and like the pattern of dumbassery that follows him since user Hey There It's Hitler on the emo subreddit. Like, there's just all that shit that happens. So like for us, it's like, oh, fucking Fredo again. Like, you know, it's just whatever. Like, fuck off, man. But for other people, it's like they, you know, maybe have gone to Fredo Disco shows and like have been listening to his records for over a year now, maybe 2 years, and they're like, you know, what's going on? Like, you know, I never noticed any you know, animosity towards Fredo. It was because he's kind of like untouchable now. Like, we let him get too big. Like I don't know. It's not like we could have done anything about it, but it's just a question of like, why have people been this patient? Why all of this? Like, why is? I'm kind of rambling. It's just it's frustrating still having this conversation. As frustrating as it is to still have the same conversations about like, you know, different bands that are like canceled. Actually, like it's just repeating yourself over and over and over. But like nobody really seems to like care except for the 12 people who do care and are saying the same thing to each other.
Yeah, and I do think we should emphasize that the official podcast position is not that Fredo Disco is canceled; it's that he is like a complete fucking dumbass.
Yeah,
yeah.
He needs to read a book,
and it's just alarming that he's been told stop it so many times and chooses to act the way that he acts. With that being said, I'm gonna nix the last two topics, unfortunately, because I have to hop off. Unless we can do it in like 2 minutes. Snowing Reunited. Okay, Snowing Reunited had some great shows in Japan, and then they came back and played a wrestling show in a VFW hall, and the floors almost caved in, and they played 4 songs, and John smashed his bass and walked off stage. My takeaway is that like I get that DIY is awesome, but like snowing, y'all should really play a real venue or something. And I don't think you 100%
Yeah.
don't need a booking agent for that stuff. You don't need to play Live Nation venue or something. I know that they're hard to find, like independent venues, but like I don't know. It's just like
Is it that hard though? Like, is it really that hard?
Sometimes.
It's like, it's really not, like, it's just, I think it's their own, like, I don't know them. Like, I was kind of pissed when I heard about that show, because I mean, they put out a decent explanation. Like I'm not saying this is my opinion now, but I was kind of like, they seem like they're trying to, I don't know, be like super like secretive and like, I don't know. It seemed a little bit irresponsible to me, like, to not have it at a real venue with, like, you know, the infrastructure in place so that people can be safe. Because, like, they're a band that, like, no matter what they do, like, no matter where they play, there's going to be people attempting to drive 6 to 9 hours to get to that show.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
that's...
like, anybody could have told you that. But I guess they underestimated it. Like, they didn't really announce it. Like, it just kind of like got out. But yeah, I thought that was like a kind of a dumb move on their part. And when it was all kind of like murky about what happened at the show, and that all I heard was that John just like quit the set in a rage and smashed his bass and then just walked out after like 4 songs.
Well, that equaled to people on the internet being like snowing just broke up when like.
Yeah, and to me,
that's not what happened. And also, they repeatedly asked audience to stop like fucking bouncing up and down and almost making the floor cave in.
Yeah,
like they tried to mitigate the damage that was being caused, but people just like refused to listen to the band.
Yeah, I didn't know about any of that. I liked their post that they made. I liked that they acknowledged that was like not a good move. And they kind of explained what really happened. But yeah, I kind of like, I felt the same way that I did when I heard that they played like a house show without announcing it in Philly.
That was supposed to be for like friends and family or something.
Yeah, and like when I heard about that, the way I heard about it was just like, oh, secret snowing show at the fucking Joe Reinhardt just posted on a story, and it's like, why would their first show ever back since like 2012 or like whenever the fuck
2013.
Yeah, why would their first show be like a secret show like that? To me, that seemed like counterproductive and like a little bit, I don't know, disrespectful. Like, I don't know. My opinions have changed, but I'm glad to see that they like acknowledge that was kind of stupid, and they're gonna like. It seemed to me like the end of that post that they were trying to actually play some shows. Like I'm actually pretty stoked about that. Possibly, like I might even trek out to one if I can.
Yeah, I mean, no matter where it is in the Midwest, I'm gonna go to it.
Yeah, I just think they underestimated like how big they have actually become, and how dedicated people are to them. Well,
that being said, officially wrapping it up because I need to get going. But this was a cool episode that I didn't anticipate getting much out of, but I personally got a lot out of it, and I think the listeners will get a shit ton out of it.
Sick.
The MCR reunion was tight, but they played too much Danger Days.
Agreed. I was pleasantly surprised to hear that one song off Bullets.
Oh, yeah, Our Lady of Sorrows. That's the one that they always play off Bullets, though.
Yes.
But more Bullets, less Danger Days. Thanks, Mike M. Love you.